just my children and my wife. Thank my lucky
Today is September 11th. On this day in 2011, beginning at about 8:45 a.m., a series of terrorist attacks destroyed the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center and severely damaged the Pentagon. Commercial airlines were hijacked and flown directly into 3 buildings. On this day, we remember our fallen heroes who tragically died as a result of these attacks. I ask you all to observe a moment of silence at this time in their honor. Thank you for your support and also honoring our fallen.
and her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to sky.
I think this is it. Dear Tim and Moby, I know that the Twin Towers fell on 9/11, but why would someone do that? From Tiffany. This is a tough one. Maybe we should go over what happened first. The morning of September 11th, 2001 started off as your average Tuesday. People went to work, kids went to school, and pretty much everyone went about their business as usual. At 8:46 a.m., though, everything changed. At that moment, an airplane full of passengers flew into one of the Twin Towers. Those were the 2 tallest structures of the World Trade Center in downtown New York City. All of the people in the plane were killed, and so were many of the people in the building. I know. Then, about 20 minutes later, a second plane flew into the other tower. It was then that people started to realize that this was no accident. It was an attack. It was clear that the planes had been hijacked or forcefully taken over. Shortly after that, there was another plane crash, but this time it was at the Pentagon, right outside Washington, D.C. The Pentagon is the headquarters of the U.S. Department of Defense. Next, the unthinkable happened. Back in New York, the South Tower of the World Trade Center collapsed. It was a devastating blow. Debris flew everywhere, and all of downtown Manhattan was covered in a cloud of dust and smoke. Fortunately, most people were able to get out of the tower before it fell. But many others, including firefighters and police officers who had gone in to help, were trapped and killed. Well, the building had actually been designed to handle small crashes, but nothing like this. The fuel from the airplane ignited an enormous fire that destroyed the skyscraper's internal structure. It was the same problem at the North Tower, and at 10:28 a.m. it too collapsed. Hundreds of people lost their lives in an instant. Around the time of the South Tower's collapse, another plane crashed in an empty field in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. This 4th hijacked plane was most likely intended to hit another building. But evidence suggests that passengers took the plane over from the hijackers, causing it to crash. There were no survivors. Yeah, all told, almost 3,000 civilians lost their lives that day. It was the worst attack on U.S. soil since the bombing of Pearl Harbor in Hawaii in 1941. Right, so let's talk a little bit about why all this happened. The hijacking of planes like this is a form of terrorism. You should see our terrorism movie to learn more, but the main idea is that terrorism is an act of violence designed to spread fear in others and to attract attention to a political cause. We now know that the September 11th attacks were carried out by 19 members of a terrorist network called Al-Qaeda. The main goal of Al-Qaeda is to make countries that are predominantly Islamic get rid of all non-Islamic influences.
Islam is one of the world's major religions. There are 1.5 billion Muslims in countries all over the globe. They practice dozens of different versions of Islam. But Al-Qaeda subscribes to a twisted form of the religion. It's centered around ridding the Islamic world of Western ideas, especially anything from the United States, and enforcing strict codes of behavior in Muslim societies. Al-Qaeda is willing to do anything to get its message heard, including using suicide bombers to kill innocent people.
You might have heard that a man named Osama bin Laden was responsible for the events on 9/11. Osama bin Laden was the head of the Al-Qaeda network. He didn't personally take part in the attacks, but as Al-Qaeda's leader, bin Laden helped plan and carry the whole thing out. Well, the United States responded to 9/11 by invading Afghanistan, a country that was harboring Al-Qaeda members. Much of Al-Qaeda's organization was destroyed, and certain key leaders were killed.
After nearly a decade in hiding, Osama bin Laden was eventually found and killed by the U.S. government. But even as Al-Qaeda has been weakened, other terrorist groups have sprung up in their place.
Back home, it's been hard to rebuild. Many lives were shattered in the aftermath of the September 11th attacks. But families, friends, and complete strangers pulled together to help out relatives and friends of the victims, both on the day of the attacks and in the weeks and months that followed. Within a year, all physical damage to the Pentagon was repaired. It's been a much tougher rebuilding process here in New York, but things are looking up.
By 2012, the new World Trade Center became the tallest building in New York.
I couldn't agree more.
Today is Tuesday, September 11, 2018.
Mister, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Put your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now for the Peace Builders Pledge.
2 fingers up, ready, begin. I am a peace builder. I pledge to praise people, to give up put-downs, to seek wise people, to notice and speak about hurts that cause, to right wrongs, to help others. I will build peace at home, at school, and in my community each day.
Today for lunch, we'll be having turkey gravy, mashed potatoes, or popcorn chicken. For salad bar, we'll be having California mixed greens, garbanzo beans, Italian dressing, and apple juice.
Sounds delicious.
We have some praise notes. Armando Tapia, for always coming to school, ready to learn. Angel Harris, for her attitude improvement by Diani at trying her best at math. Richard Martin for completing all his journal work. And Yair Galinia for being kind every day.
Students, remember to turn in your sticks into your teacher. 4 sticks gets you 1 ticket.
And now birthdays. Today we have one birthday. Alexander Huerta in Mr. Luna's class. Let's wish him a happy birthday.
Happy birthday!
Students, today we will be working on following instructions. To follow instructions, first, look at the person. Next, say okay, then do what you have been asked right away. Finally, check back.
Now for our mindfulness message. Okay, so
Good morning, students. Okay, for our mindfulness message, our exercise, what we're going to do is we're going to do our shoulder breathing. So if you remember, Savannah, you're going to help me. When you breathe in, you're going to be raising your shoulders slowly in the count of 5, and you're going to hold it, and when you breathe out, you're going to let them go down while we're counting to 5. So when we get to 5, we should be up here, and when we breathe out and get to 5, we should be down here. Okay, so you're going to close your eyes, put your hands on your table like this, and then we're going to breathe, close your eyes. We're going to breathe in, counting to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold it. And then when we release all the bad energy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, good job. One more time, counting to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Your shoulders should be up. Hold it. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good job. And for our last one more time, counting to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold it. And then counting out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good job. Okay, and for our circle, today it's going to be, how do you make yourself feel better when you're feeling sad or mad? So that is your circle prompt for today. How do you make yourself feel better when you're sad or mad? So good job, you guys. And remember, the choice is yours.